Hey everybody, welcome back to another movie review. Hope you guys have been enjoying the content on the channel as of late. Just got out of this, and as you can tell by the thumbnail, we are doing a double take once again with my little bro. So as always, I will do my take, and then I'll swing it over to him once I'm done with my take. And yeah, so we're just gonna dive right into this. We watched just now Transformers 1, which is the latest in the Transformers series. I believe it's the 7th film in the series, and the first animated feature in a couple of years, the first of which, of course, was in 1986 with the original Transformers film, which we've talked about on the channel, which is basically just a jolt of 80s flair and nostalgia, if you're into that kind of just, kind of visual flair or that type of mentality. That's what that original film offers. And then, of course, we've had the lineup of Michael Bay Transformers films, which I've also discussed on this channel, and I would say I've had a fair defense in the first three. It's not just purely by that of my childhood. I think was a little bit diplomatic in my overall reasoning, but I definitely acknowledge that there was small bias in there, because as I've laid out in many of my Transformers reviews, if you guys have followed this channel for any extended period of time, I'm a big Transformers fan. Loved it all of my life. Was there when I was a little kid. The first film that I was introduced to was Dark of the Moon. So, I inherently, there is a bias that comes with the Michael Bay Transformers films, but there's definitely, films in that series that I just can't argue for. I mean, The Last Knight, Age of Extinction, those especially were not good. And then the series came back with Bumblebee, and when I mean by back, I mean by overall quality. And I still stand by Bumblebee being the best of the series, and incidentally, we actually are going to be doing a review of Bumblebee in a few days after this review gets posted, so be on the lookout for that when it comes out. But we are now here with Transformers 1, which I've illustrated as the second animated feature. This one directed by Josh Cooley, the guy who gave us Toy Story 4, which I surprisingly enjoyed, and then we were getting another one. This is the prequel. This is the origin story of how Optimus and Megatron came to be. In this movie, they're labeled as Orion Pax, as of course any Transformers fan knows is a notable name. D16 also being notable as well. Orion, voiced by Chris Hemsworth, is a bit of a troublemaker, but he's also fairly interested in history, and it kind of fits that of his backstory if you know the original source material. And he has a friend named D16, who is a miner, both of which are miners. They're in low class in the establishment of their home planet of Cybertron. There's levels to the planet. There's the very, very low levels, which are that of the miners. The middle class, which is where their leader, their ruler of the self-proclaimed ruler, Sentinel Prime, who is voiced by John Hamm, is kind of reigning. And then there's the high surface, the main, surface, or the exterior to the planet. And no one goes there except Sentinel Prime, who is looking for a relic called the Matrix of Leadership, which may or may not be able to bring the planet back to life, as their source, Energon, is missing. And the Matrix has a link to getting that energy back. And Orion and his friends, namely Elita, voiced by Scarlett Johansson, and B-127, aka Bumblebee, voiced by Keegan-Michael Key, also come along. They find a clue of sorts to the whereabouts of the Matrix of Leadership, and they go on an adventure all together where they learn a lot about the true nature of that of Cybertron, the origins, and a lot of their beliefs being just completely wrecked, and the varying responses, specifically that of two, and how it ultimately may shape them and the future of their home planet. So it's quite a mouthful that I just said, and in some respects the film itself can be a mouthful. But to speak positively for a second, I think that visually it is very, very involving. I think that what they've done here, I think, is very interesting in terms of an aesthetic, in terms of a layout. I was very interested on a visual front, and usually I'm not. Typically with films, I mean, there's stuff like, by good framing and good just grading and overall coloring. I mean, stuff like that can be interesting, but like this big, like spectacle, I'm not typically intrigued by. But the balancing of the dimensions, and I've had my issues walking into this with the designs, but they grew on me, and I found the overall just look of the film to be very, very, like I said, just there's a lot there, a lot of details, and it's interesting on that front. And then we get to the characters and the overall narrative, which basically boils down to that of loyalties, in that it's not difficult to know how the film ends, and that navigation is the intrigue going into this. How do we get to that point? And what you get is about loyalties, about about impact, loyalties to a cause, we shall say, and the formation of a cause. In the case of Orion, it's about unity, and about for D16, who we eventually will come to know as Megatron, it's about, of course, selfishness and about one's own desires. And what I take great issue with the film is a lot to do with the delivery of those themes. And it's not to necessarily say that the concept itself is a bad approach. I actually think that the approach to the film, I think, is very intriguing. I think that the delivery of it is my overall issue, because the layout of the concept of Transformers 1, in just the pitch about kind of binding that of like what's what I'm looking for, like navigating through a political landscape, is, I think, kind of an interesting place for a prequel, for Transformers, especially if you understand the lore. There is a lot of that political undertone, so I appreciate those sort of ideas embedded into this. And again, visually speaking, it is quite nice to look at. And voice-wise, it's also not as bad. I mean, there are people who probably will take issues with like it not being the original cast, but I found them to all be fine, especially Chris Hemsworth. I think he does a very good job, especially when you consider where that character is and what state that character is in. It's not the Prime that we all know and love. Of course, it's a younger version, so the voice works. The voices are generally fine. But my big problem with the film, as I've kind of illustrated, is that I don't think that the delivery of those themes are as impactful. And it mainly, I think, comes down to a technical issue, specifically that of pacing, because one of the big criticisms of the Michael Bay Transformers films is how long those films play. They usually play for like 2.5 hours, something even like 3 hours at a time. And I don't quite take an issue with that. Sometimes with, like I said, with it depending on the film, like Age of Extinction or The Last Night, it can be quite tedious. But in this, what's really funny about it is that the issue, it seems, with a lot of the Transformers films is quite the opposite in this film. I believe that the film would have worked a lot better if it was spaced out, aka perhaps a little bit more duration, more length. I feel would have been better, because a lot of the times the developments kind of just whip by, and it doesn't really allow us a lot of time to sit with developments or circumstances. And when the big moments happen with these characters, the impact of it is rather thin, or rather half there, and a lot of the what's the word I'm looking for? Like, a lot of the understanding of motivation also feels rather vague, specifically when we get to talk about D16, Megatron, how they develop his character. It feels as if the character just became bad, not necessarily that there's an evolution to him becoming bad. It's just that, well, he just got real pissed, basically. And I don't think that is rich, or detailed as per the animation or other things that are literally in the frame. So my overall feeling of the film is that I don't hate it. I think that it is above a lot of other Transformer films. I think that it is, comparatively speaking, like I said, I don't hate the Michael Bay films as much as other people do, but comparatively speaking, yes, it is leaps and bounds better to those Michael Bay films. I don't think of it to be on the heights of something like Bumblebee, which I think, as a film, generally speaking, I think it's just a better made film. I think that it just paces itself, and the actual developments of those characters and the resonance itself, I feel, is actually more felt. With this, I just feel as if that the film is it's a trouble to do, primarily in pacing, primarily literally in the delivery, and in the speed of that information. If they were to just calm it down, then I think that I would have enjoyed a lot more of the overall concept and the overall pitch, because the literal is interesting, but I guess you could say I guess just in the concept of itself, it's interesting, but in the literal, that's what I meant to say, in the what we are actually seeing and actually feeling, the words that come to mind is rushed, thin, but ultimately satisfactory. So it's fine. It's not anything to cry home about. It's nothing really that noteworthy either. It just kind of hits that mediocre spot for me. And like I said, for Transformers films, it's good. You know, it's a good consistent value to be at right now, because with Rise of the Beast and now this, it's good to be at something of a fair quality, rather than sitting in the waters of negativity, which usually surrounds this franchise. So it's okay. I wish that I could have liked it more, but ultimately I sit in kind of just soft satisfaction. I think that's probably the best way to put it. So it's not like, yeah, it's more like, yeah. So those are my thoughts on Transformers 1. I thought it was fine. Nothing crazy good, nothing bad either. Just fine. But those are my thoughts on Transformers 1. So now I'm going to swing the camera around, as we usually do, and I'm going to let my little bro talk about Transformers 1 right now. So here is his review right now.
How's everybody been doing? I have been doing fine lately, but sorry, I'm just a little tired. The Transformers film was it was good. I'd say it's okay and stuff like that, but I had a lot of fun. I saw a lot of cool things. I'm not a really big Transformers fan, to be honest, but like, I went because it's Transformers. My brother taught me a lot about Transformers and stuff like that. Like, I know about Optimus, I know about Megatron, Bumblebee, and other Transformers characters, like cameos. Like they showed a lot more cameos on other stuff at the end of the film and stuff like that. Don't want to spoil it for if you guys are into it. Like, I don't know if it matters or anything like that, but what I do gotta say about it is I did love the voice actors, like Chris Hemsworth, Keegan-Michael Key. Those were probably my two favorite actors, those ones, because Chris Hemsworth is like someone who you don't expect to be like Optimus. Like, for me, when I heard he was playing Optimus, I was just like really? Like, that's Thor. Like, I'm not crazy. That's Thor. Like, Thor sounds like, everybody knows what Thor sounds like if you watch the films, But hearing him as Optimus, that does not sound like Chris Hemsworth to me. So it's kind of like impressive. I was like, wow, that's pretty good. It's obviously not like an accurate Optimus that we all know, like Chris said, right? And but it fits. Like, it's good enough to me. Like, I get used to it. It's like, for me, it's Mario. Like how everyone reacted to, when Chris Pratt was playing at Mario and stuff like that. Everyone was like not sure it was gonna do good about it or it was not gonna fit. Everyone got used to it after they watched the full movie. Everyone's like, yeah, it's fine. It's whatever. It fits. It's fine. So yeah. But what about Keegan-Michael Key? Keegan-Michael Key, I say, it's Keegan-Michael Key. What do you think? To me, he's just a comedian. I mean, to me, Bumblebee, he's not really a comedian. Like, when I watch other films, he's just a robot. He's kind of like a leader. Pretty much Optimus is like second leader in command, almost, kind of. And yeah, seeing him as comedians, whatever, I got used to it. But yeah, I mean, What else? What was the other character? It was D16 Megatron.
Mm-hmm.
He that was pretty accurate. I would say that's an accurate Megatron. You know, like the when I felt the betrayal he came in, it was the moment like I was like, ooh, I knew where this is going. Like I like how they started off with this. Like they started off with like it's the scene where I think I remember. It's when they get captured by these people. I forgot what their names was, but afterwards they become Decepticons. They get the name from Megatron.
The High Guard.
The High Guard.
Yeah.
Right. The High Guard. Like these people who it was originally Starscream who was the leader and stuff like that, blah blah blah. I was like, the moment I saw that I was like, oh yeah, Megatron's gonna do something with Starscream, they're gonna have a beef about it. And they did. And not surprised that Megatron had a power. And I realized when I saw that he got a little corrupted, I was thinking, I like how this is where this is going. Because I realized Optimus is not gonna feel cool about this because he notices that his best friend is like getting way too desperate and going too deep in this road he's thinking about, because this is all about Sentinel and just stopping Sentinel. For him, he's stopping everything that was with Sentinel. Like he wants to kill like all the gods that worship with Sentinel or anything that has to do with Sentinel. And it kind of is going to corrupt him so much it might destroy Cybertron. So Optimus, or Orion Pax before it was, he had to stop him and stuff like that. But eventually, like Megatron, he was strong and stuff. He did kill Sentinel Prime. I did not mean to spoil. I'm sorry. He did.
Spoil. It's fine.
It's fine. I just wanted to say it so bad, but he killed Sentinel Prime. Optimus gets the Matrix of Leadership from Primus. He becomes Optimus Prime, and they have a whole fight about it. And afterwards, they just go like brothers in arms, whatever, just like some cool like anime fight, whatever, blah blah blah. And they just go their separate ways. You know, Megatron making the Decepticons, making his own way, and the Autobots are now ruled, and Optimus is the leader. They go their ways, and I was like, I like that. That's a really cool backstory and stuff like that. And yeah, I really like it. I love the soundtrack. Brian Tyler, who also composed a lot of films with Transformers, like the show and the Mario movie and stuff like that. I overall think the reception, or like how much the money will make. I don't know the budget about it. I don't know. I'm not that much knowing about that yet, but if I had to guess, I think it's gonna do good. I think it's obviously gonna be okay. I think it'll do fine, or at least, like, I don't know if a lot of people know Transformers a lot or if they care about it, but if I would say it, overall it'd be fine. For me, yeah, it's whatever. How my thoughts about it? That's good. I'd say it's good. Everything else was good. Like my brother said, visually, animation wise, everything like that, it was spot on. It was pretty good. I love how they really give off some good texturing. I love the texturing, the lighting with the sun, and the structuring and all the stuff like that. Like it looked like a real good animation movie. Like I haven't seen a real good animation movie since like probably the Mario movie. I have to be honest with you, but yeah, overall good movie. That's all I gotta say. It's nothing huge. It's not like it's like a life-changing movie, not a crazy movie. It's just a good movie. Just a good movie. Nothing crazy. But overall, yeah, that's all I gotta say. And it's good to be back in the channel. Good back to be on the channel. Sorry. But yeah, I'll definitely return for more reviews for like the Lion King Mufasa, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and possibly more films to come. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one if I can. See you guys.
Well, that's going to be our thoughts on Transformers 1. You guys let us know your thoughts on Transformers 1 if you guys have seen it. Honestly, it came to mind when my little brother was talking about it. If you admire films like, I guess the best way I can put it to give examples, if you admire films like Super Mario Brothers, or more notably Into the Spider-Verse, into that sort of style, that hyper-stylized sort of pace, in that the delivery is just kind of quick, if you like that sort of thing, then I think you will admire Transformers 1 quite a bit. Me personally, I wish that pace was a little bit more dialed back in that the developments could have been a lot more resonant and a lot more impactful, but yeah, that's just my opinion. We are in a packed house and people seem to have been enjoying it, so we'll see how, and generally speaking, it's been getting fair reception, so who knows? We'll see how it plays in the theaters financially. We'll see. But you guys let us know your thoughts on Transformers 1 if you guys saw it. It comes out, of course, this Friday, so if you're going to go check it out, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for showing up, watching this review.
Yeah.
And until then, guys, thank you guys, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.